It's Scorpio season, baby, and for that reason, I'm going to let you know that our language can sting. You have been warned, content is explicit. It's Bewitching Hour, our monthly bonus episode.
Where we discuss the magical and mystical, kooky happenings of the world.
Or sometimes we discuss the unworldly dumb things people do.
Or joined by my skeptic as usual, best friend Amy over there.
And my resident believer, Krista. And today we are talking about one of my favorite months, October.
You cheated on me. We can discuss that. We can't discuss Unwilling Sunset because Amy cheated on me last night. I knew it.
I had the TV to myself on a Saturday night. That never happens. And I was like, you know what's going down? Some Selling Sunset. And it was great.
Well, I found another show to binge, and it was Wednesday, as in the Addams Family, and it was so good.
You're so late to the party, which I've never watched it either.
Yeah, I know, but it's so cute. Little YA action, a little spooky, witchy, really cool stuff, up my alley. And I was like, and it's Tim Burton. So well done.
I'll take your word for it. I'm probably never going to watch it.
Yeah, it's a little teen heavy, but it's still really, really good.
But yeah, the drama on Selling Sunset is great.
I cannot wait. The preview kept popping up, and I was like, I know that bitch watched it without me. I know she did.
My favorite was Rochelle telling Nicole she rearranged her entire face.
Oh, shit. I can't wait to watch. Okay, I'm going to watch it tonight.
Then we can watch it again because it's so much drama. I love it.
All right, that's what's happening. It's going down.
Corey walked by and he was like, who are these people? Or they don't even look real. I'm like, that's the point. They're like plastic Barbies. You got to watch. And they yell at each other.
So stupid, but amazing.
I know. And it's like the things they get offended about. I'm like, man, if I got that offended about like little comments from my friends, I would not have any friends. I'm not going to talk about Selling Sunset drama this whole time because I do have a lot of exciting stuff for you guys in store. A little teaser to make people listen the whole way through so you don't drop off. We have officially found alien planet debris on our Earth's crust. And then scientists are looking into breaking the language barrier with aliens so we can communicate.
Ooh.
Okay. So first,
love it.
Breaking news. This happened November 1st. They're looking for information on government activity related to aliens, and they want your help finding it. Launched a new online form that people can use to submit info. Right now, unfortunately, the form is currently available for, I don't know why they say they want your help. And then next sentence, it's like, not quite yet, but maybe they just want to get people thinking and reflecting back on all their alien memories, those repressed memories we all store from when the alien probed you in the night. The form is currently available for current or former U.S. government employees, military members, and then government contract workers. But they are reassuring the public that once the form is completely public, that if you do share anything with them, it's going to be confidential, and the only people it will be shared with is government employees. And if they feel the need to reach out to you, to get more information, it will be only shared with those people who are conducting the interviews.
Did you ever watch X-Files?
Me and my sister used to watch it. It was always like a contest if we could make it through the whole episode because we used to get so creeped out.
Yeah, me and my dad used to watch it, and I don't know why the hell he let me watch. I was young. I was like, why are you letting me watch this with you? I think that also helped spark a little bit of my beliefs, my out there beliefs. Dude, David Duchovny was kind of fine back in the day.
He still is.
Yeah, he still looks good. He was in that movie I was watching last weekend where he was like Jonah Hill's dad, and Eddie Murphy's in it. It was really good, but he definitely aged. But he's fine.
You don't know how much help they've been getting from plastic surgery. This is a big announcement or a teaser. They are supposed to release several declassified files in the coming weeks, which will be like historical documents and videos of alien activity.
Cool. I mean, they had the Tic Tac one of the plane flying, supposed unidentified aircraft, like flying from an Army Air Force camera.
When was that? Recent?
I want to say a couple years ago.
Supposedly there's more coming our way. So everyone, we're waiting with bated breath. We just can't wait. It's probably going to be something pixelated and be like, that could be anything. Our planet is falling behind on the race to find other life out there, while the aliens are probably winning this race. Despite our efforts to scan the skies for extraterrestrial life, we haven't had much luck. Some astronomers are suggesting that we are looking at the problem in the wrong way, and aliens probably have already spotted us, even though we remain ignorant of them. And the argument is that if alien life does exist, which I think we all are in agreement that it does, basically it's that they wouldn't have a hard time spotting us because our activity and things we participate in make us well known. Part of the way they would know we exist is for over 100 years now, we've made our existence known by broadcasting radio signals into space. And this especially happened during the time of 1900 and World War II. So you had to think about radio transmitters back in the day. They didn't have a strong signal to pick up other signal. They would have to blast out like these extremely powerful signals that we probably don't have to use today because we have better receptors. We've launched several spacecrafts into space across the solar system. Howard Isaacson, an astronomer from the University of California, found that the Voyager probe journey would technically alerted more than 1,000 stars of our existence by 2300. They did it that long ago, but they said in 8 years from now, because it takes that long for time to travel, the closest star to us would have enough time to receive our signals and return a message.
I just want to know what they're going to say. If they're like, man, we passed y'all a long time ago. Y'all suck. Bye. Next. We're on to the next.
Why you have this feeling they're the superior race, because I can't imagine they have it all figured out either.
Why not, though? What if they do?
Anything's possible, but it would be pretty miraculous if they had it all figured out too. Because any intelligent life, I feel like there's room for error and mistakes, and I can't imagine it'd be perfect there either. I mean, they might not have a 40-hour work week, and they might have a better system, hopefully, but you never know.
That's what I'm saying. Sign me up. First shuttle out. Let's go.
But you never know, because it's like, what's the saying? It's like, you know the devil you're working with.
Oh, look at you.
And sometimes you
Yeah,
don't.
something like that.
I would have to know more before I said that. Apart from launching rockets into space and radio transmitters, aliens may have also detected us through similar techniques humans use as astronomers to spot exoplanets, which an exoplanet is a planet orbiting a nearby star. They could have also analyzed the Earth's atmosphere, discovering signs of the ocean, indicating that there is life on this planet. They probably have been able to see this light being emitted from cities, giving the indication of a smart, intelligent life. Like we have technology.
Mm-hmm.
So cool shit, in my opinion. Even though aliens most likely have discovered us, the NASA chief scientist, Ellen Stefan, predicted that in 10 years, which she predicted this 10 years ago. So now we're saying it 2 years from now, that we should be able to detect alien life by, I would say, 2025? Even though it's 2 years off and we're not quite there, they said they are very confident that we probably could reach that milestone. And then the question is, if we're so close to being able to discover life on another planet, it opens like a Pandora's box of questions. And one of them is, how would we communicate with them? Scientists are already starting to question this, what alien language might look like, and if there's any hope of us ever being able to understand them or communicate with them.
Yeah, it's that Amy Adams movie I was talking about.
Invasion.
I'm sure we will have like expert PhD world-renowned linguists trying to decode that shit, which I love languages, you know? So I think that's so cool. Like, yeah, that's cool. Is it symbols? What is it? Is it verbal? Is it nonverbal? What form, what medium? That shit, blows my mind.
Because it is crazy, because they're saying that obviously it could be like something it's outside of our even imagination of how they're communicating with people. But there are arguments for this. And the one thing they're doing is looking at the long history that we have as a human race, that we're able to interpret language barriers that seem impossible. I thought this was an interesting idea, because even for an alien, if they were listening, let's say they had like headphones and they were able to tune into Earth, they would be able to listen to over 71,000 languages being spoken. So imagine just the language barrier here that already exists, let alone what if they have 100,000 plus languages too? Like, where do we even start?
Right.
But one idea is that, which is very promising, is that humans are able to communicate with animals. And they're questioning if the way animals communicate with one another can teach us anything about how we could communicate with extraterrestrial beings.
Cool.
And one argument from Eric Kirschenbaum, he's a behavioral ecologist at the University of Cambridge, believes that evolutionary changes are truly universal, that evolutionary forces shape life on Earth and will produce many similar features in extraterrestrial life. Basically, what he's saying, it would mean that life and language throughout the cosmos would most likely share certain features.
Got it. That's pretty cool.
His argument is that natural selection would help with this. Unrelated lineages of organisms evolve similar features in response to environmental challenge. So one argument is that physics and biomechanics limits the number of ways for animals to move about. So if you think about the way the wings of a bird work, it works very similar in the way that wings would work for a bat. Even though their last common ancestor was a small wingless lizard or lizard-like creature. So it's not completely a lizard, but it was over 300 million years ago. They still have the same functioning like body parts.
Following that.
And this is one of his quotes from the article. Why would such constraints be different anywhere in the universe? Everything, everywhere, communication included, is subject to the law of physics, as far as we know. From the gestures of apes and the whistles of dolphins to the swirling patterns of colors on the skin of a cuttlefish, any one of these, he argues, could be the basis of a language on an alien planet. This also started the debate of what we consider to be intelligent life. So yes, there's bacteria on Mars or the moon of Jupiter, but some would classify it as a simple organism. And then some are arguing that the sign of intelligent life is life with technology, basically.
Gotcha.
And the argument is that any civilization that is able to build a telescope or a spaceship would need to understand physics, mathematics, and of course, language to collaborate and communicate ideas.
Yeah.
Because they would have to communicate if they have all that technology, which I think makes sense.
But I think I was saying this before. There's just so many things that we can't even conceive of. But I mean, I follow the logic of physics, obviously, but there's so many realms of possibility that it could be, which I think is so cool.
Yeah. And I don't think he's saying he definitely knows the answer, but it's just suggestions, like suggesting the idea for that reason, it may not be as different as we think it may be. But who knows? That's the interesting thing, is we will never know unless we meet them and try to communicate with them.
Or in some beliefs when we die.
Another exciting announcement was made on November 1st. So I guess this is like the day of alien news. It's now known that an alien planet crashed into Earth, causing a collision so big that the debris formed the moon and left mysterious remnants lodged into the Earth's mantle. For years, scientists never understood seismic activity that was taking place below an African and Pacific tectonic plate. So the seismic activity, to explain, it's related to earthquakes and vibrations of the Earth and its crust.
Mm-hmm.
And this activity that's taking place below an African and Pacific tectonic plate has the ability to change everything. It's already led to the formation of mountains and how continents are shaped. And then Chinese and American scientists are working together to figure it out. They ran a lot of tests. Through these tests, they were able to discover that the material in these areas under these tectonic plates is 2 to 3.5% denser than material surrounding the rest of the mantle.
For some reason, I would think alien material would be less dense, but obviously, wrong. I don't know. I just think maybe because of traveling through space and time that it would be less dense, but who knows? What do I know?
I have no opinion on their density of their planet, to be honest.
How dare you?
But these pieces of material, they believe, are relics of an ancient protoplanet known as Theia, which is now buried and preserved under the Earth's crust. And a protoplanet is a large body of matter that orbits around the sun or is a star that will eventually become a planet. And they believe that the protoplanet that crashed into Earth was the size of Mars when it happened. And it now forms 2% of the Earth's mass. And they believe the material is very dense because it contains iron, just like the rocks on the moon, which they believe was formed from this exoplanet crashing into Earth. And the moon, for that reason, is mostly made up of alien material. And this is a really exciting discovery because it's the launching of information to help scientists learn more about the Earth, the moon, and exoplanets outside of our solar system.
Super freaking cool. Our university is doing a similar mission right now. They launched it last month, the week after my birthday, called Psyche. The mission itself is called Psyche, and it's an asteroid that is orbiting Mars. So we don't have the technology to drill into our Earth's core, and so we don't know what the Earth's core is made up of. But they hope by studying this asteroid called Psyche and getting tests back of its composition that we can then see if it's metal, what is it, and then give us answers about our planet too. So that sounds like a similar, like, aligned goal, which is really cool. Like, it's going to take years though. I think it's not going to be ready to get the samples back to Earth for like another 10-15 years, if I'm not mistaken.
That's still cool though.
Yeah, it's really cool. One of the reasons I'm proud of our university still.
I can imagine going to school to study space and stuff.
Yeah, the experts are super cool. And it's led, how could I forget? It's led by the principal investigator is a lady, and the first NASA woman to lead this big of a mission into Mars.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder if it's one of those majors you can do a lot with, or if it's one of those majors like communication. Like, what the hell do you do with that major?
Anything.
I
Literally
don't know.
anything.
I guess it shows you're smart. If you can't make it in the space world and you have to go out and get a job like the rest of us. But sticking with the alien theme that I got going on for this episode.
Yeah, I like it.
For the past month, Ring has been asking people who own one of their doorbell cameras for unaltered footage of aliens that may happen to be hanging out by your front door or wherever you have your cameras. And if you do have footage of an alien, you might as well send it in because you will get a $1 million prize.
Shit, trick-or-treaters, what's up?
They also try to make it a little bit more fun. They offered $500 gift cards for Amazon because Amazon owns the Ring, by the way. But yeah, if you could do a funny spoof of an alien showing up at your door, they also had a lot of prizes, which we can post those. It was pretty funny.
We should do one.
I think it's too late. I think the contest already ended and they picked their winners.
Oh shit, we should still do it for funsies.
Okay, so Goldie Hawn, remember her?
Yes, I do. Kate Hudson's mother.
A lot of people are losing their minds because Goldie Hawn supposedly had an encounter with an alien, and now she just feels comfortable enough to talk about us. I don't know. But it happened in her 20s, so quite a while ago. And she was living in California, working as a dancer. And she was sleeping. Yeah, we don't know what kind of dancer.
Sure we do. Sure we do.
But she was sleeping in her friend's car when all of a sudden she heard a high-pitched sound in her ear. And she jumped up and recalls seeing 2 or 3 triangle-shaped heads outside of the car. She described them as being silver with a tiny slash and for a mouth, like almost like you take an X-Acto knife, I can imagine, and then a tiny nose. She recalls feeling paralyzed while she was laying there, frozen, I'm sure in fear. She said that they were looking at her and it looked like they were having like an animated, excited conversation and pointing at her. She woke up the next day, which is a long sleep in a friend's car. But anyway, I digress. She woke up the next day and she assumed it must have been a dream. But throughout the years, she talked to several other people, confirmed her beliefs and had similar experiences. So it made her feel maybe more comfortable telling the world what happened. And she even reached out to an astrophysicist at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. I went there to see the Fall Out Boys back in the day, discuss her experience.
We snuck into that concert. Me and my freshman roommates, actually. Oh my, that was a good time.
Yeah, we went to see Motion City Soundtrack, but Fall Out Boy was like the main act. But that's who me and my friends loved. And then these goth kids are like throwing quarters at us during the concert.
Oh my God.
While she was talking to this astrophysicist, she said that some repressed memories occurred and helped her remember things more clearly. So now I think she's like convinced. But maybe it's because she was like an echo chamber of people telling her it's a real experience.
And she came up, in the 70s and 60s? A lot of coke, a lot of LSD happening, shrooms, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been real to her, but was it the DMT in her brain? You know what I'm saying? Who knows?
I don't know. I think our brain plays tricks on us. I don't even think it has to be necessarily drug related. I just think our brains play a lot of tricks on us. We're always trying to fill that space. And this is some positive news. A group called the Massachusetts Witch Hunt Justice Project is dedicated to clearing the names of individuals who were arrested, accused, or found guilty during the Salem witch trials.
Hell yeah.
And this was regardless if they had a guilty verdict that resulted in a hanging. Anyone who was accused or had to go to trial. And the group is mostly made of history nerds and descendants of the accused. They've been collecting signatures for a petition to take their case to the state house. And this isn't the first time that a witch justice group has sought out justice. In Connecticut, there was a separate witch justice group. They were very successful this past May. So Connecticut state senators were presented with their argument, and they voted 34-1 to absolve 12 women and men convicted of witchcraft. 11 of those 12 were executed. The efforts are now focused in Massachusetts, with one of the first accused being a midwife. Another accused individual, her name is Ann Hibbins. She is the sister-in-law of Governor Richard Bellingham, and she was actually the inspiration for one of the main characters in The Scarlet Letter.
Which actually makes a lot of sense. So, like I just said at the top, I've been watching Wednesday for this weekend, and a lot of it has to do with pilgrim times and how horrific it must have been for those women, anyone who was accused, but specifically the women who were like stoned to death. They were tortured because they were othered. And it really reminded you of how horrific these puritanical beliefs can be. And I was like, whoa, that shit is crazy. All because they were scared of powerful women. That's all it comes down to.
Obviously, witch hunts are still happening across the world. It's always like this attack on women going on. Heaven forbid women have autonomy and choice and opinions. I feel like it's still happening today. A lot of people's lives have been threatened by the whole Roe versus Wade. It's time for like old white men to stop being in charge.
Yeah, time's up, mofos.
It'd be nice to have a change.
Been up. Goodbye.
But this group, they realize they can't change history. Their efforts are like focused on just closing this chapter and trying to have a formal recognition for these people that were accused. In Vermont, they hosted a ceremony for a lady named Widow Krieger, and she was actually a survivor of a witch trial in 1785. And if you remember, one of their arguments was that they believed that witches would float when then they would attempt to tie them up with rocks. But she sank, and they actually saved her, which is one of the few I've ever heard about that happening. And they hosted a witches' walk in which people dressed as witches in the small town of Pownall, Vermont. And I included this quote because I think it summarizes what we're saying in a more eloquent, beautiful way. But one of the organizers, Joyce Held, was quoted as saying, "I'm sure Widow Krieger would have been quite happy to join our witches' walk today, in defiance of those who feel they have the right to accuse someone they feel looks different, acts different, or has a personality that they might find odd of being a witch." So it's just a reminder, just because someone's different than you doesn't mean they're wrong.
Exactly.
Or different of opinion. Can we all just be...
but you know, ghosts exist.
I don't have to agree with you, but I can respect your opinion, right?
Do you though respect it?
I think I'm pretty respectful for the most part.
I'm giving you shit. It's fun.
At least on air, I'm respectful. Okay, and then to end this, just a little fun. The royals, they want some good PR. So the most recent news from the royals is that Queen Elizabeth II, Charles III, and Queen Camilla had encounters with spooky spirits behind palace doors, okay? I guess they are spooky little bitches. They believe in the paranormal and the ghosts. They might be on your side when it comes to that. Windsor Castle, which is one of the castles that the royals tend to host their weddings at, is supposedly very haunted. And it's haunted by King Henry VIII and King George III, also by one of the foot guards of the palace that shot himself. So they think there's 3 individuals who haunt this area. And Princess Margaret and Queen Elizabeth said they saw the daughter of King Henry VIII. This daughter is one of the daughters who died in 1603 in the palace library. Because we know several of his wives gave birth, and unfortunately, a lot of those children didn't survive.
Mhm.
And then, just as you said, Anne Boleyn, who we just covered, witnesses have spotted her walking across the Windsor Castle as well, along with
Nice.
King Henry VIII limping. And supposedly, he's like whining and being a little bitch about his leg.
Yeah, 'cause most deaf had syphilis.
I would not be
Yeah,
surprised.
codes and different area codes, so that's why.
You had 8 wives. Like, how many women have you been with in your life?
Rumor has it that he died of syphilis, so
It makes sense. We know King Henry was thirsty for everyone. Another haunting is from Catherine Howard, who was actually the next wife after Anne Boleyn. And she was beheaded for adultery in 1542.
no, Catherine Howard must have been after because the third one was Anne Boleyn's step lady or lady in waiting or whatever.
Oh, does it start with a J? Jane or something?
Yes, Jane Seymour. There we go.
Yeah, okay, so maybe not.
One of his a million wives.
It's hard when you have so many wives to keep it in track.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, one of his many wives, Catherine, she was beheaded, and this took place in the Dumfries House, which is an 18th century Scottish property that the royals own. In the ITV documentary called The Real Camilla, she discusses how Charles had renovated the property and that she will never step foot on that property again because she has seen ghosts.
Ooh.
Anyway, that kind of lame story at the end, but that's what I have for the
Ringer there. Like, let's go get paparazzi and snap that shit and be like, look, bitch, we see you there.
The rumors are that she's never stepped foot on it still, but who knows? But that was a big story about the royals being big ghost believers.
I wonder if they really are, if it's just PR stunt, but because they're so Catholic, or not Catholic, they're Christian, right?
Every president says they're Christian or religious. I don't know if I always buy it, but they know they need that religious vote.
Right.
And some stuff, like, I feel like the public, for the royals, it might win people over by saying they're religious. But yeah, a lot of people in England aren't religious, so who knows?
But remember, they think it's their destiny to be next in line from God, so
I don't think they believe that anymore, though.
Queen Elizabeth did, according to the Crown, because it's so accurate.
I'm not defending them because I don't know them personally, but I'd be surprised if they actually believe that now.
Oh, yeah, I don't think any of the kids probably do.
Yeah.
Harry and William are probably like, nah, I'm good.
That is my episode, folks.
Sweet. A lot of aliens in October.
I know. I think there's going to be a continuation of alien news coming. Obviously, the government said that.
What do you know that I don't know? Spill the tea.
I don't know anything yet, but we'll have to see what November Bewitching Hour looks like. Maybe we'll have more information.
More aliens.
I'd be willing to learn alien language. I'm not very good at learning languages, but I could try.
Maybe they're so advanced that they can create any language that you would understand without even having to know it. Like, they just have all this wealth of knowledge. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's probably more likely, but
I don't know if that's the case, but it could be, unless they have some technology where they can read how people are trying to communicate.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. They have I just feel like I don't know.
As I like to say, we don't know shit about fuck, Marty.
Peace, bewitches.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram or bewitchbanter.com. Suggestions for the show? Emails at bewitchbanter@gmail.com. Credits, music Phantom Fun by Jonathan Boyle from premiumbeat.com. Podcast, edited and produced by Kristen Hinds and Amy Holt. As always, if you enjoyed, please rate, review, and subscribe.